Organized sector and unorganized sector. So first of all, we are going to see to the proper and systematic definition of these terms, and then we will have their explanation. So organized sector is that sector where the terms of employment are regular and people have assured work. So this is what you have been told here first of all, that organized sector is that sector where terms of employment are regular. Terms of employment are regular means the terms of employment are uniform and they are unchangeable. That is the meaning of regular. If the terms and conditions are regular, that means the terms and conditions are uniform and unchangeable. Unchangeable does not mean that in emergency situation they are not going to be changed. They can be changed in emergency situation, but in normal situation they are not going to be changed. So that is the first characteristic of organized sector, that here the terms of employment are regular and people have assured work. People have assured work means people are going to have a guaranteed work. The organizations are registered under various acts such as Factory Act, Minimum Wage Act, etc. So these organizations which come under the organized sector, they are governed by certain acts such as Factory Act and Minimum Wage Act. So under these acts, the organizations have to follow set norms, set rules and regulations, and that is why they cannot exploit their employees. The organizations follow rules and regulations laid down by government, and that is why these organizations are under binding. That is why these organizations are under compulsory binding, that they would have to follow the rules and regulations which have been given by the government. And then we are going to see to the next part, that is unorganized sector. So unorganized sector is characterized by small and scattered units which are largely outside the control of government. So unorganized sector is that kind of a sector where the units are small and scattered. Like when you go to market, you see a number of thelawalas, you see a number of vendors who are just standing by the roadside and selling fruits and vegetables and these kind of things. So they are scattered units which are largely outside the control of government. So government hasn't got any direct control over them. So such sectors are called unorganized sectors. They do not follow rules and regulations. So they are not under any binding that they would have to follow the rules and regulations of the government. For example, if they are selling fruits, if they are selling vegetables, they won't have to follow any set rules that have been laid by the governments. They can sell onion at 40 rupee also, depending upon the situation, and if they get the chance, they would also be able to sell it for 100 rupees. So the things are going to be decided by themselves depending upon their profits. Jobs are low paid and often not regular, and here the jobs are low paid means they are not going to get that kind of an income, and they are also not regular means if the person is working under unorganized sector, there isn't any guarantee whether he is going to get the job every day or not. So that is what you have been told here, and I hope you would have been able to understand the difference between the organized sector and unorganized sector very properly. We are going to start here with our next heading, that is unorganized sector workers in rural and urban areas. So kindly pay attention and try to understand the meaning of the heading, unorganized sector workers in rural and urban areas. So here in this heading we are going to see what kind of workers come under the category of unorganized sector, or you can say what kind of works come under the category of unorganized sector, both in rural and urban areas. Rural areas means village areas and urban areas means city areas. So here you will come to understand the categories of work that fall under unorganized sector. So now see, so in rural areas, the landless agricultural workers, so particularly in rural areas, the landless agricultural workers means the people who are working on the lands of others, जो दूसरों के खेतों पर काम करते हैं, those kind of workers. इस उसके अलावा small and marginal farmers, at the same time the small and marginal farmers means who have a small piece of land. Artisans means mazdoor, mistri and these kind of people comprise of the unorganized sector workers. So these are the workers which come under the category of unorganized sector workers in the rural areas. Once again you will have to see to it. The landless agricultural workers, marginal farmers, small and marginal farmers means farmers who have got a small piece of land. Artisans means laborers and these kind of people. They come under the category of unorganized sector workers in villages, in rural areas. Now see, for the urban areas. In the urban areas, the unorganized workers are the people working in the small scale industries. So particularly in the urban areas, such workers who are working in small scale industries. Casual workers in construction, जो कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पे काम करने वाले मजदूर मिस्त्री वगैरह हैं, इंडस्ट्रीज में, छोटी छोटी इंडस्ट्रीज में काम करने वाले, वर्कर्स एंगेज्ड इन ट्रेड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट, सच पीपल हु आर एंगेज्ड इन ट्रेड एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट, लाइक दे आर लोडिंग एंड अनलोडिंग बोरास, they are loading and unloading gunny bags, loading and unloading the jute bags. So they are workers in trade and transport, street vendors, roadside vendors, rag pickers and garment makers. So these are the people who come under the category of unorganized sector workers in urban areas. So I hope you would have been able to understand the explanation properly. To protect workers in unorganized sector, that the workers who are working in the unorganized sector, how should their interests be protected, कि कैसे हम उनको protect करें, कैसे हम उनको बचाएं. So children, one more thing I would like to tell you here, that this is the entire information about all the headings that are there in the chapter. I have only presented you the things in a different way so that the unwanted kind of things might be filtered. So under any condition, you must not think that anything has been left out, everything has been included that is going to be important for you for the purpose of examination. I have only filtered the unwanted things which are really not going to be so important for you for the purpose of preparation of the chapter. So the presentation has been given here somewhat in the form of proper notes so that it might enable you understand the required things very well. So now see, so first of all we need to protect the unorganized sector workers in terms of wages. First of all, wages are to be seen, that they are getting their wages properly. So equal wages should be paid to male and female workers for equal work, that if they are doing equal work, same wages should be paid to male and female workers. Then every year there should be an increment, and twice a year dearness allowance should be paid by the government, that every year they should be getting the increment, because every year the dearness is going to be increased. महंगाई हर साल बढ़ जाती है तो उनको इंक्रीमेंट मिलना चाहिए, साथ ही साथ उनको डियरनेस अलाउंस भी मिलना चाहिए सरकार के द्वारा. सो ये तो चेंज होगा, ये तो रिक्वायर्ड चेंज है इन टर्म्स ऑफ वेजेस. देन इन टर्म्स ऑफ सेफ्टी, व्हाट वी कैन डू फॉर unorganized sector workers, the workers should be given safety of tenure, means they should be given the safety of period of working. Tenure means period of working, that it should not be like they are going to get the job for 6 months and then for the 6 month they have been terminated, कि वो 6 महीने तक काम करें फिर उनको निकाल दिया जाए. तो ये चीज़ नहीं, उनके टेन्योर की सेफ्टी होनी चाहिए. If something goes wrong with the worker on duty, the worker should be given economic protection, that if any mishappening or if any accident happens with the worker should be given economic protection. He should be insured, he should be given medical facilities and these kind of aids by the organization where he is working. Then in terms of health, workers should be given free medical services, checkups, etc. Medical insurance should also be provided to workers. So these are the things that we can do in order to ensure safety and security to the workers who are working in the unorganized sector. So children, you will have to remember the entire thing that has been said here and in the style as they have been said here, with proper headings and all these things. With sectors in terms of ownership, ownership means rights of possession, मालिकाना हक के आधार पर, कि मालिकाना हक के आधार पर सेक्टर्स किस किस तरीके के होते हैं. तो द कैटेगरीज आर पब्लिक एंड प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स. ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ओनरशिप या मालिकाना हक के आधार पर सेक्टर्स पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स होते हैं. सो नाउ सी टू द डेफिनेशन. In public sector, the government owns most of the assets. Assets means properties. That in public sector, it is the government that owns the assets. It is the government that owns the properties and provides all the services. While in private sector, the ownership of assets and delivery of services is in the hands of private individuals or companies. So that is the difference between the two sectors. That in public sector, the government owns the assets. That government owns the property and provides the services. While in private sector, the ownership of assets and delivery of services is in the hands of private individuals or companies. So that is what we call as the private sector, where the ownership of assets means where the ownership of property and delivery of services is in the hands of private individuals or companies. कि जैसे समझिए कि अगर कोई चीज़ प्राइवेट सेक्टर में होगी, जैसे कोई डेयरी है तो डेयरी में जितनी भी गायें हैं, भैंसें हैं और जो भी वहाँ की ज़मीन है वो उसके ओनर के अधिकार में है और दूध की सप्लाई की जिम्मेदारी उसकी है. जबकि पब्लिक सेक्टर में अगर कोई चीज़ होगी तो उस पर सरकार का अधिकार होगा और सप्लाई की जिम्मेदारी सरकार की होगी. जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, तो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जो है वो सरकार के अधीन है और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की सप्लाई की जिम्मेदारी सरकार के पास है. तो ये पब्लिक और प्राइवेट सेक्टर का डिफरेंस है. अब आगे देखिए, रेलवेज और पोस्ट ऑफिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ पब्लिक सेक्टर. whereas companies like Tata Iron and Steel Company, टिस्को और रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज आर प्राइवेटली ओन्ड। कि रेलवेज और पोस्ट ऑफिस ये सरकार के अधीन है, ये पब्लिक सेक्टर की कंपनीज हैं, और जबकि टाटा और रिलायंस ये प्राइवेट सेक्टर की कंपनीज हैं। नीड्स एंड इम्पॉर्टेंस ऑफ पब्लिक सेक्टर, कि हमें पब्लिक सेक्टर की या गवर्नमेंट के अंडर में जो कंपनीज हैं उनकी ज़रूरत क्यों है। तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी हैं कि जिनकी वजह से हमें पब्लिक सेक्टर या गवर्नमेंट अंडरटेकिंग की कंपनीज की ज़रूरत होती है। अब वो देखिए वो कौन से रीजन्स हैं। Public sector provides many essential things at quite reasonable prices. That when the things are under the control of government, when the companies or sectors are under the control of government, they are going to provide many essential things at quite reasonable prices, which the private sector cannot provide. But the private sector cannot do so because the private sector is always going to work for its profit. It is a profit making organization, and that is why the private sector would not be able to provide the facilities at रीजनेबल प्राइसेस, बट द पब्लिक सेक्टर डज। कि गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर ऐसा करता है लेकिन प्राइवेट सेक्टर ऐसा नहीं करता है। पर गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर वर्ड आप नहीं यूज़ करेंगे, आप पब्लिक सेक्टर ही यूज़ करेंगे। सो पब्लिक सेक्टर कैन डू ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट। सरकार के पास ज़्यादा पैसा होता है तो वो बहुत बड़े बड़े इन्वेस्टमेंट भी कर सकते हैं। मेन पर्पज ऑफ द पब्लिक सेक्टर इज सोशल वेलफेयर एंड नॉट प्रॉफिट। कि इनका काम सोशल वेलफेयर होता है पब्लिक सेक्टर का, ना कि प्रॉफिट। कि जैसे पीडीएस सिस्टम कि जहाँ पे महंगा अनाज खरीद करके सस्ते में गरीबों को दिया जाता है, पब्लिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन सिस्टम, तो ये पब्लिक वेलफेयर के लिए है। पब्लिक सेक्टर प्रोवाइड्स मेडिकल एंड एजुकेशनल फैसिलिटीज आइदर फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट और एट नॉमिनल प्राइसेस। कि जो पब्लिक सेक्टर है वो मेडिकल और एजुकेशनल फैसिलिटीज की, जैसे आप सरकारी अस्पताल देखिए तो बहुत कम पैसे में इलाज हो जाएगा, भले वो क्वालिटी ना मिले लेकिन इलाज बहुत कम पैसे पर हो जाएगा। एजुकेशनल फैसिलिटीज़ भी आप सरकारी स्कूलों को देखिए तो बहुत कम पैसे में पढ़ाई होती है, जबकि प्राइवेट स्कूल्स में और प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल्स में बहुत ज़्यादा पैसे पड़ते हैं उसी चीज़ के। Railways, post office, steel plants, etc. belong to public sector which contribute to the economic development of the nation. तो आपको बताया जा रहा है कि रेलवे, पोस्ट ऑफिस और स्टील प्लांट वगैरह ये ज़्यादातर पब्लिक सेक्टर में होते हैं क्योंकि ये नेशन की इकोनॉमी और नेशन के डेवलपमेंट में सहायता करते हैं। और इस तरीके से ये पूरा चैप्टर आपका कंप्लीट हुआ और रिमेनिंग थिंग्स आपको क्वेश्चन आंसर्स में मिलेंगी। तो नोट्स और क्वेश्चन आंसर्स मिला करके आपको प्रिपेयर करना है, तो इसको आप अच्छी तरीके से रिवाइज करिएगा।